I stand by what I said.
Today, Patricia McAllister is back and refusing to back down from her anti-Semitic comments.
That wasn't it. No.
But it was good. It was an anti-Semitic.
That was close.
It
was close. What was it she said?
You remember she was sitting in front of, she was testifying, and she said, look, parents, they may think they know the right thing to do for their kids, but they really don't. We do. We went to school for it. We're educators. And they might, and remember the guy from the hearing said,
yeah,
wow, so parents don't know. No. They might think they know what's right for them, but we do.
Well, it's the same thing Al Gore said, too, to a group of children when he was telling them that they knew more than their parents did, and sometimes you need to not listen to your parents because
it's what
better.
What they do when they're going to birth control, and they'll go to sex ed, and they'll say to the kids, "You don't need to tell your parents about this. They know better." And if you have the Harvard education, if you have the education, and if you're in the union, well, then you do know better. Then you know best. Then you know exactly what you're doing. But no, you really don't. If you're just a stay-at-home mom, you really don't.
Yeah, I think it was. I think you're talking about this one.
You know, over and above my school board hat, I was also involved in the Michigan PTA for a number of years, serving at the state level as its president. So I have advocated for parental choice for a very long time, which PTA does as well. However, you don't get to choose to use taxpayer dollars to fund an education that the system, that the government and that your community has not decided is appropriate. Now, do parents have a right to make decisions regarding education? Absolutely. And they can do that at the ballot box when they elect their school board officials. If their district is not offering programs that they want, they can hold them accountable with their vote. But we do, educators go through education for a reason. They are the people who know best about how to serve children.
How to serve children.
That's not necessarily true of an individual resident.
Right.
I'm not saying they don't want the best for their children, but they may not know what actually is best from an education standpoint.
Because a lot of them have never worked a day in their life.
Wow.
Mitt Romney's wife, Ann, has not worked a day in her life. Let me tell you something. I like Ann, I think, more than I like Mitt. Ann is a pretty strong woman. And by the way, did you notice that they're attacking a woman who suffers from a debilitating disease?
She's not disabled, like she has diabetes.
Oh, no, she doesn't have diabetes. Right. No. What does she have?
She has MS.
MS.
Oh. Yeah.
She has, here they're attacking a stay-at-home, saying
stay-at-home mom who's raised 5 kids, but just has MS. She doesn't know.
No big deal. She's out. She has MS.
I mean, it's cute what she does.
She raised 5 boys, and they ridicule her.
It's adorable.
And will the press even do anything about it?
No, of course not.
Nope, not a bit. Not a bit.
This is a bad one, though. I mean, it's
really bad.
You're as you're trying to pitch your sell to women across America is that Republicans have a war on women. You're this insulting. I mean, this is the attitude they've carried throughout the entire campaign. They always demean the stay-at-home mom. It's always a secondary choice. It's something that they don't like. And here it is in its most overt stance. And immediately the administration's like, well, this is an advisor and we don't agree with these comments. Really? Because you didn't have any problem going all over Mitt Romney about the Etch-a-Sketch thing, which was just an advisor. You think Mitt Romney woke up in the morning and said, I hope one of my advisors calls me an Etch-a-Sketch on TV today? Of course not. But they have absolutely no problem exploiting that comment like crazy. Yet when it comes to one of their advisors, basically telling the entire group of millions of stay-at-home moms that they're not working every day, that's
amazing.
The media just ignores it.
And then she backs off it by saying, or sort of justifies it by saying, well, I was just saying that she doesn't work in addition to taking care of. She doesn't work outside the home in addition to. Ask how many women would prefer to stay home all day with their children. Or would they rather have a break getting out into the workplace? I mean,
would they rather have a break?
I'll guarantee you a lot of them will say, yeah, I'd rather have the break and get out into the workplace.
That's the amazing thing about this is and I'm not saying this because my wife is listening, because my wife will listen to Andrew Wilkow. She won't listen to me. But I will tell you that last week I stayed home with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
It was my vacation. I got news for you.
Did you do it alone without Tanya there ever? Because
no.
Yeah, then it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. Doesn't count at all.
Try it without Tanya there.
Me? She's like,
for a week and see what happens.
The house would be on fire.
Yeah, it would. It would burn to the ground.
We're doing a show tonight on GBTV about Louis Farrakhan. This show, we talked to our security advisors, and when we were saying, we need to expose Louis Farrakhan and what's going on there, they said, look at the benefits of return to what it's going to cost you. These guys are not to be trifled with. They're very, very dangerous. And we decided to go ahead with it and do the show because we feel it's a really important show to do. So, we face real serious problems every day. Pat and I have talked about, we come home and we feel like we've been, on a battlefield all day, especially when we were in New York, because it really is a battle, and we are really fighting a war here. We can lose our lives, our fortunes. We're fighting a war. I would rather take on Louis Farrakhan every day than stay at home and raise and homeschool my children. That is tough work.
Try it.
That's quite a statement.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely 100%
absolutely
true.
Absolutely true. And you know what? There's a lot of women that don't necessarily want to do that. Like Pat was saying, they'd love to take a break. And here's what they get on top of it.
There is no, like my wife always tells me, I have no time off. I have zero time off. Yeah, I know.
My wife.
I'll come home and say, I've been there for 12 hours, 13 hours. Yeah, I don't have any time off. I've been here 24 hours. Okay, I get it, yeah.
I know. I get to say,
all right.
Wow.
No, seriously. You know what my wife said to me last week? My wife said to me, this is a great vacation. This is a great vacation. And I said, well, I know, but honey, we're trying to save some money and stuff. And she said, yeah, you know what this vacation's been? Exactly the same for me. I'm at home.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Well, except that she has an extra kid at home, you to take care of.
Yeah.
She's got to deal with
don't
you,
need
too.
to,
That's worse.
We don't need to dwell on this. But the point is it's so incredibly insulting. You want to talk about a war on women? Here it is. Not only did they say that to Ann Romney, but then they take everybody who works at home, everybody who is raising their children, everybody who is homeschooling, every woman who is strong and stays at home. They're now adding on top of it the real war on women, which is the subtle war of the demeaning and the degrading of those women and their choices. You may not want to make that choice. That's fine. But they demean and degrade. So the strong woman who stands at home and stays at home and homeschools their children, then what do they do? Led by these same people. They then say, oh, well, okay, well, you're just a cute little mom. Oh, okay, you got to the rise there with 5 boys. I know. I know that's so tough. But what we're doing over here is important.
Although,
oh, my gosh.
To be fair, though, it's not to say that Hillary Rosen doesn't have a tough job. She's defending Obama's policies.
Yeah, that's
heavy lifting. That is heavy lifting.